Emma Massingale, horse trainer and adventurer.
Hi everybody. Well, by request, the most popular request of video I've had so far has been for you to all meet my horses. So without further ado, I thought this video I'd introduce you to all my chestnut horses. I thought I'd do it in colour order because it doesn't seem there to be quite so many of them in that case. And actually we added a new addition. While I was off injured, I had a trip with a good friend of mine. We went off, well, we started off in Poland and went and looked at horses in Poland, which was really interesting. Quite different to how maybe different to how I thought it would be. And also just different types of horses, different ways of keeping horses. Some maybe, perhaps I wouldn't keep my horses like that, but you know, every culture everywhere has a different way. And so it was interesting to go and have a look. And after a few days in Poland, we decided that perhaps that wasn't for me and wasn't for us on our trip. And so we hot-footed it, well, jumped on a train and headed all the way down to southern Germany, right on the German-Austrian border, and went to have a look at some draft horses. Now, I've always been fascinated by every kind of horse. You know, I love them all, and those that followed me for a while know I like a huge selection. I'm not biased in any way. I love Shetland ponies, I love the great big sport horses. I just love them all. And one particular type of horse that I haven't really ever done much with, or maybe just one or two over the years, has been these draft horses. So I thought, right, I'm going to add a draft horse to my team. Now, I'm only going to add a baby, a youngster, because obviously it takes a long time to produce a really good horse. So I thought I'll have a look at some young horses and see whether there was something there that caught my eye. And so we headed down to Germany and to look at a breed of horse called Norica. Now, Norica horses are an Austrian light draft horse. So they are a big horse. So the horse I was looking at, I think looks a little bit like a big Haflinger, but is in fact a Norica. Aren't you, Betty? Hello, hi. This is Betty. Betty is a 2 rising 3-year-old Norica, and she is a big girl. She's about 15.3 at the moment, and I think she'll get a little bit bigger. And where we went to see her, they had loads of them, like literally loads of them. I can't think how many, maybe like 50, I don't know. He breeds them and has loads of them and does lots of cool things with them. So they're driving horses, they're working horses, riding horses. They're kind of like an all-round draft. So they're good for multi-purpose, which I thought ticked quite a few boxes for me and for what I like to do with horses. And obviously, the obvious thing about her is, look, she matches. She's exactly the same markings as Albert. She's even got a white chin, look, just like Albie has. So I thought she could be part of my ginger team. And I got a few ideas for her, like what I'd like to do with using a draft horse. Maybe a little bit different to what you might expect, but we'll get to that in time in the videos and as her training goes along. But when we were looking at horses, my good friend Emma came with me from Ireland, and bless her, because I had my arm in a sling, she had to do all the running around with the horses, trotting them up and looking at them for me, because I was pretty useless, wasn't I? Eh? But we found you, which is really exciting, and she's a lovely girl. Betty is really friendly. She's like a real people horse, you know. She is very, very friendly. Possibly a little bit too friendly, if that is even a thing. Can that be a thing? Are you too friendly? Possibly, quite possibly. But she's got the most amazing mane. Look at this. It's all like really, really pretty. She's got lovely, 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 lovely attitude, haven't you, hey? So what have we done with you so far? Well, Betty arrived, when did you arrive? I don't know, around beginning of December. So I was still not able to do anything, pretty useless. But she arrived and came all the way over here. And since then, she's just kind of been getting involved. You know, she is only a baby, but she can still learn stuff as we go along. So what have I done with you so far, Betty? We've had a few little rides. I've sat on her. We've hacked out a couple of times. Jeremy's ridden Custard out with me, and I've ridden her out. And she's, as you can see, she is like super friendly. So she's not frightened. She's not worried about being sat on, climbed on, poked, prodded. You know, she has got that great draft attitude of like, yeah, okay, we got this. And what else have we done with you? Oh, she's been hitched on the side of the carriages a couple of times, haven't you? Yes, you're very good at that. And she's naturally quite bold. She was a little bit unsure when it, you know, like touches them on the back leg. She was a bit like, ruh. So after that, since then, we had her pulling a tyre a few times, and we've been out around the roads, long reining her, and just pulling a tyre around the farm, just to get her used to the noise and just to, you know, get a feel for what might be to come in the future. As I said, I'm not really like working her or anything like that. Like literally, she's just playing around in the field, getting to know everybody. But every now and again, if I think there's an opportunity for her to learn something or just to experience, get a feel for something that might be later on in her training that we're going to use, I think it's good to introduce these things when they're pretty young, but not in any work way. So like she's pulled a tyre maybe like 3 laps of the arena, 3 different days. You know, I mean, she hasn't broken a sweat. You're not going to break a sweat, are you? Hey? We don't want to be breaking a sweat, do we? So she's just getting a feel for it, just getting nice and relaxed, being accepting of things being different. I think when they're young like this and quite impressionable, it's important that she doesn't think that her life is all a certain way. I think it is important that she is accepting of things might be different one day to the next. So a few other things I'd like to do with her. I'd like to put the pack saddle on her and take her up on the moors and just let her, you know, carry my lunch, which I'm sure for a horse of her size and stature will be nothing. I'd also like to ride her a little bit more. And again, just pootling around. I'd probably like take a couple of my other horses, maybe Custard or some of the Connies, and then just sit on her and ride her for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then jump off and ride them. Just keep giving her that idea of going out, seeing lots, and just being relaxed in any situation, in any way, in whatever we're doing, because I think that way she's going to become like the most versatile of a horse that I could want to produce. Obviously the difference is as well, she's a mare. I don't normally go for mares. I have a lot of geldings and a lot of boys, don't we, hey? But we've gone for a lady, so we call her Lady Betty. Are you a lady? You're not actually that ladylike, are you? I have to say. Where's the ladiness? But she's very, very sweet. But it'd be interesting to add a mare to my team. I didn't go looking for a mare. I just I don't not have mares because for any reason. It's more about the type of horse, and I really liked her. She's got a fantastic limb. She's just the right size, obviously the right colourings and stuff as well. So yeah, I think on the whole, she's pretty exciting. There's a couple of things that I'm not overly keen on, like a couple of behaviours that she has at the moment that I think I'd like to quite get rid of. She's a little bit keen on chasing the dogs, which is a little bit cheeky. So I shall probably, what I'll do with that is I'll probably put her with the Connies a bit more, who don't chase the dogs, and then it will just become something she doesn't think is so exciting. When she's just in the field here with Custard, he doesn't chase the dogs, but she's kind of a bit bored, and because she's quite a she's quite a character. I think, you know, if I had to say, like, given the horse I've had in the past, she almost acts a little bit like an orphan. She's a little bit weird. Sorry, girl, I don't mean to say you're a bit weird, but you are a little bit weird. And so sometimes I think it's just, maybe she's just chasing the dogs because she's a little bit bored. So I think, I'm not sure what's giving anybody that impression, Betty, that you might be a bit bored. But yeah, I think that will go. Like, I don't think it's like in her nature. I think it's more of a just right, what are we doing now? What are we doing now? But yeah, she's super sweet. Well, Betty's going to add to my ginger team. So obviously I've got Betty now, and Custard, who you know, Custard is my great big 18-hand sport horse who I've had for, well, since he was a foal, because he is by my old event stallion Marcus, who I still have, who's retired in the field. And Custard he's like a gentle giant, but he is plagued with injury. He is always off. There's always something not quite right with his joints or his hips or his stifles or goodness only knows what. There's always something with him. And then also in my ginger team, there's Albert and Ernie, who of course you guys know. Obviously they do a lot of my videos. They are amazing little chaps. Albert's a standard size Shetland and Ernie's the little one. And they go on trains and boats and goodness only knows where. We go here, there and everywhere with them. They are definitely my A-team, and then next to them, I've also got Stan, who is a bit like Albert. He's, well, they're all chestnut with white faces, but he's kind of got a broader blaze, and he's a miniature Shetland. So he's a little stocky little chap, and he is a big character. Well, by that, I mean he's just naughty. Actually, I can't dress it up any which way. He's actually quite naughty, doesn't he? Hey? I think you and Stan make a good team. I feel like possibly we need to put some hours work into you both. You're both cheeky. You're both quite naughty. Yeah, Stan is really naughty. I mean, if there's a bad option, if there's like a good option, and then there's a bad option, Stan would take that one. And then he'd laugh at you as well. He's always bucking, and he's always like messing about, and he's a goof of the gang. He's a monkey. And then also I've got, well, Stan is 3, so he's still a baby. And then next to that, also next to him also, I've got another little one, a little mini called Stu, baby Stu, who has been in a couple of videos, I think. And he is tiny, he's a right little midget. And he's only, I think he's 2 this year, so he's a little baby. But he is going to be good long term. I think he's much more pliable in his attitude than Stan is. Maybe more like Ernie, just kind of one of those that's kind of like, oh yeah, I can do that, yeah, fine. And it's nice to have like the different personalities in the team. You kind of we need a mixture. If they were all like Stan, I'd be tearing my hair out and going completely crazy. But equally, if they're all like Stu, I wouldn't be laughing as much as I do. So each of their personalities will develop into the skills that they're good at. So I'm sure Stan is going to be doing some more stuff this year, as he's now getting that little bit older and capable of learning a little bit more. And baby Stu, well, he'll just come along for the ride on a few hikes and trips and things like that. And we'll probably wait another year before we do too much with him. But that's kind of my ginger gang, isn't it? Hey? Big or small, I absolutely love them all. Don't we? Good girl, buddy.